Trump trial is not going to happen before the election. The Georgia Court of Appeals has made sure that by setting an October 4th date to hear the appeal of the refusal to disqualify DA Fani Willis from the case, Judge Scott McAfee denied the joint motion of Trump and other co-defendants on April 4th. Trump appealed his ruling, and the Court of Appeals eventually agreed to accept the appeal. Judge McAfee ordered that pretrial motions and discovery should continue while that appeal is pending. Still, with the appeals court setting oral arguments so far out, there's no possible way this case will go to trial before the election. The motion sought to disqualify Willis and her office from prosecuting the case and also asked the court to dismiss the indictment because of Willis's romantic relationship with Nathan Wade. The court was satisfied their relationship did not begin until after Wade started working for the DA's office. Although McAfee denied the defense motion, he did order Wade to be removed from the case. Renita, I said this from the outset, that this right here was an error on the part of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. That what we've seen in the past several months, this trial has been delayed because of that. Both of them should have had enough sense to say, this is going to be a problem. You don't create problems. You try to be as clean as possible. And so now, as a result of this, this is not going to trial this year. This one is on DA Fani Willis. Renita?
Absolutely. I agree. The Trump lawyers, their tactic the entire time has been that they want to do anything they can to delay the trial going because they know that once we have the election, if Trump is elected, he can make all of this go away. So their whole tactics have been delay. They file appeals when they know they have no shot of winning them, which I think is what this is. But it does serve the purpose that they want, which is to delay this as much as possible so that there will not be a decision. No trial can be held before the presidential election. So I agree with you. This is a case that I've continued to pay a lot of attention to because I was in the committee, in the room when the Trump lawyers came before my committee and asked us to throw out the votes of Georgians and try to basically steal the presidential election, which is.
Oh my gosh. I can't take these folks. You all, we're talking, this is Roland Martin. He has his own show. He's a Clefty Lefty. And they're talking about how the Georgia election interference case with DA Fani Willis down in Fulton County, Georgia has now been delayed. And they won't even start hearing until the fall of this year, which puts this way after the election. And they're going to be looking at whether or not to dismiss it altogether or disqualify Fani Willis off of it. So that's what's going down. But warriors, I am so glad you are joining me back here today. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. On my way to 40,000 subscribers by the end of this month. Now let's get back into this.
What they are basically charged with in the indictment that Fani Willis did. So I do think that I agree with you, Roland. It was a complete misstep by the DA to allow herself to sort of give them something to work with in, just delaying this trial.
She served up on a silver platter, Congo, pure and simple.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. And to see this happen, to also see what the Justice Department did as it relates to taking 14 months to bring up their case against Trump, him and his lawyers take every advantage they can. And yes, this is something that lays at the hand of Fani Willis. You can't slip up as it relates to these guys because they exploit every single thing. And so, to be quite honest, I know these are state charges and things. But it's kind of like, I hate to agree with Don Jr. or whichever Trump said that the November election is really going to be the time for the ultimate verdict. Like, we can't depend on these trials to deliver anything for us. Yes, we can call him a convicted felon now, and we're going to see what happens on July 11th. But still, we have to continue to stay vigilant because too many of us put our faith in these trials and these attorneys and these different states, and it's just not enough to stop this man. November 5th, that is the date for the final verdict on Donald Trump.
Julian?
I got to just say this, I hate to say this, but I got to say it, okay? Y'all just work with me. Please hear me out. Black people have long complained about the judicial system in America, saying that it's unfair to Black people, people of color. But this same judicial system that has so-called been unfair all these decades, and I'm not saying that it wasn't unfair, but it's hypocritical for us to now say they are getting it right. because they're indicting someone or convicting someone, in this case, convicting someone of 34 counts that we don't like. Or so now all of a sudden this broken system is now unbroken. It's all of a sudden working now. No, it's still broken, because at the end of the day, you're convicting someone of trumped up charges. You're talking about inappropriately documented legal expenses. That's it. They're calling it falsifying business records. They make it sound worse. But legitimately, a legal expense was put down as a legal expense. And they're trying to say it was falsifying records when you have the left releasing criminals out onto the street and letting unvetted illegal immigrants raid and run into our country and commit crimes. We have our focus all off. Okay. And, people are taught, he's saying that of course, Trump's attorneys are going to exploit everything. What do you want? They're exploiting him. That Georgia interference case was from a phone call, a 1-hour phone call, but CNN only played maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds of it, maybe a minute. And then they twisted their narrative on it. The man was doing what Al Gore and Hillary Clinton did when they questioned the results of an election. So they get to do it and he doesn't. There you go, the two-tier judicial system in place, protecting the Dems, the demon rats, and prosecuting and persecuting Republicans. So we need to stop being hypocritical. This is what we need to do.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so disappointed in my soror, Fani Willis. Just so disappointed in her lack of judgment. But it is what it is. And moving forward, as Renita said, these folks basically delay, deny. We're even seeing it with the New York case. We've seen it with the Florida case where the judge is one of the man's appointees, and she has thrown everything in but the kitchen sink. We see it in the D.C. case. We see it in the Supreme Court pondering whether or not he has blanket immunity for any crime he commits, which he asserted in 2016 that he had when he said he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. So Fani Willis played into their hands. The heart wants what the heart wants, but the heart could have waited for it. Because frankly, basically, I think Omakongo said, she served herself up on a silver platter. I don't wish to diss the sister or, throw her under the bus, but this was a huge tactical error. And taking it to October 4th means this will not be heard until after the election. Now, this does say one thing, though. If y'all want justice, I say y'all, because there's some of y'all people out there who, I'm not going to vote. I don't like Biden, which is stupidity. It's compounded stupidity. And if you're mad about me calling you stupid, JulianneMalvo@AOL.com. You stupid. Because basically, this will not be adjudicated any place but
What's stupid is voting blue no matter who. That is what's stupid. Period. So we see that even Roland Martin, everybody's agreeing that DA Fani Willis, you misstepped. You misstepped. And the woman said, I guess the heart wants what the heart wants, but it could have waited. Oh, she had to have it. Just like Spike Lee in that old movie, she's got to have it.
Thank you.
And I have another surprise for you.
Maybe she just couldn't wait, just had to have it. Yes, well, just because you had to have it right then and there, you're looking at totally being disqualified from this case. And it could possibly be thrown out altogether, which would make us pro-Trumpers extremely happy. DA Fani Willis, you made a misstep. And Roland Martin, at least I will say this about you. I know you are a clefty lefty, and I do not agree with your politics. However, you have admitted that DA Fani Willis has made a misstep. You do admit when those who are on the same team as you are not playing the game correctly. Because I remember when you were interviewing BLM members and you even said, gee, y'all, I hate to say it, but this doesn't sound right. You said, this doesn't sound right. You know, the left keeps getting caught up and they keep trying to blame things on the right, but the right is right. And the left is out in left field. Yes, those clefty lefties. Yes, because you all are always for things that are immoral. This country is in the middle of a civil war on ideology, not an actual physical war. No, not a physical war. I repeat, no, not a physical war. It is ideology. This is a battle between good and evil. Not really liberal versus conservative, but good and evil. And when you attack conservatism, and a lot of people who are on the conservative side really vote according to their Christian faith. Not saying that there aren't Christians on the left, but on the conservative side, you have people that are really voting according to their Christian faith. So on the surface level, this is a battle on or a war against conservatism. When you dig deeper, it's a battle against Christianity. That is what it is. So people need to realize that, because every time you bring up a Christian point without even mentioning how you vote, the left, the mainstream, the propaganda media rather, goes up against it, wants to cancel you, wants to beat you up by canceling you. Those are just facts. You mention prayer in schools, you mention anything biblical, they are up in arms, always up in arms. You know, if you're pro-life, so you're taking away a woman's right to choose. If you're not for anenderism, then they're like, you're being a bigot. No, these people need some help for their mental issue. It's a spiritual issue. It's deeply rooted in some kind of spiritual problem that manifests itself into mental problems. So we need to address things correctly. Don't mess up a person's body. There is something going on upstairs. Well, you all be blessed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel on my way to 40,000 subscribers by the end of this month. I see the numbers ticking up. I do appreciate all your support, and it really helps when you watch the videos. Please watch them, and I kindly ask you watch them to the very end. Well, you all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and as I always say, march on, warriors.